And we're back. And we, of course, are bringing you our Meet the Mayoral candidates. We're getting our first conversation started for this morning. And joining us for this conversation, we have the United Democratic Party's candidate for Mayor of Belmopan, Miss Jacklyn Burns. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Marlene and Gavin.
How are you doing this morning, Jacklyn?
It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, in Belmopan, and it's quite cozy. Thank God for the little rain last night.
No, absolutely. Right here in the city, too. All right. So before we start talking about politics, Jacklyn, let's introduce our viewers to a little bit about who you are as a person, where you grew up. Let the viewers know who you are.
Okay. So my name is Jackie Burns. I prefer to be called Jackie. I'm an English teacher at Belmopan Comprehensive School. I've been a teacher for 23 years. I have grown up primarily in Belmopan, or most of the time I've spent in Belmopan since 1987. So my formative years were spent here. I've been very involved in community work. I'm a poet. I enjoy working with young people, and I've been a Belmopan City Councillor for 2 terms.
That's right.
So, okay, now let's talk a little bit about the decision to enter the race as for mayor. What made you decide to make that big step?
Having been around politics for 6 years, I've learned the challenges. I've learned the ins and outs of having to lead this city. I am in love with Belmopan, and I love helping people. And I was approached to ask to be the mayoral candidate. And initially, I stepped back. And this was because I was doing my studies. I was writing my thesis for my master's degree. And then when I was asked a second time, and I said yes. I said, okay, let me try this.
What was your hesitation?
My hesitation was that I was writing my thesis.
That you wouldn't have the time.
I wanted to give it all that I could have. I'm finished with that now, by the way.
So, you know, what do you think are the qualities that the team sees in you that makes them feel that you are fit to be the leader of the slate?
I do have very strong leadership skills. I do get involved in community work a lot. I do have a passion for doing the things that I do in Belmopan. I have versatile skills. I'm involved in a plethora of different subheadings. I'm involved in youth programs, women programs. I'm involved with whatever it takes. I can fit in any situation that I might be invited to, participate in.
Now, your party has had a stronghold on that municipality for a very long time. You served for 2 terms as a councillor, but even before that, the UDP was in fact heading up that municipality. How do you see that as a strength or weakness going into this election?
I see it as a strength for sure, in that a lot of work has been done to build this city. Belmopan, if you visit it from one time to the next, you will see the city's development. It's very visible. And I've had commendations from people who come in Belmopan maybe once a year, maybe every 6 months, that Belmopan is really expanding. Belmopan is really developing. And so it's something that people appreciate, and I think they support.
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about your vision for Belmopan? Having been a councillor for so long, now choosing to take up the mantle as mayor, can you talk about where you see continuing the work and a bit of your vision for where the city is going to go under your leadership?
Okay, so our manifesto is broken up into 3 sections. There's a go big, there's a go small, and there's the go forward. And so under the go big, we're looking at projects that we can continue to build this city, so much so that people feel the change, the development, the progress. And under that program, we're looking at getting people more community minded, more close knit in Belmopan. We do have some disjointed sections of the city. And so we're looking at family oriented activities, activities that would get our residents from different areas communicating. Some of these include the possibility of building a 200-seat theater in Belmopan and having it facilitate trainings in the arts, having it facilitate stuff like what the Bliss in Belize City does. And that's because we have a lot of individuals in our city who are really talented and gifted and want an avenue for them to, share their talent. We have a lot going on for academics in Belmopan, but we need some training, some hands-on trainings for those young people who are so inclined. Under the Go Small, we're looking at park projects. A lot of the residents feel that our parks in Belmopan need to be a bit more family friendly, a little bit more inviting. And so we're looking at park projects, we're looking at daycare facilities for senior citizens. And this is because Belmopan is a retirement home, is a spot where a lot of people come to retire. And then we have the public servants. So their family members leave to work and the senior citizens are left at home alone and with nothing to do. We want to train people to care for senior citizens, as we see a demand for it more and more. And this will create jobs, which is something that is rather urgent in our city as well. Yeah. Under the Go Forward, we want to continue the infrastructural works we've been doing. We want to continue building on fixing our streets, picking up our garbage, establishing a proper debris collection for Belmopan so that our residents see that, the council is doing what it's supposed to do, its basic duties.
Yeah. So you've been out on the campaign trail and you've been meeting with residents. I know people have been trying to use different mediums as well, but tell me a bit about the feedback that you're getting when you go out.
The feedback has been that people have been very welcoming, especially in a time when we have to adhere to the COVID measures. We find that the residents have been warm. They come out, they accept our visit, they engage us in conversation. We find out their concerns. Many of them share with us and we make note of them. We talk to them about our neighborhood watch programs that we hope to establish in Belmopan. Some of the neighborhoods already have active programs, but their neighborhood watches have gone a bit dormant. And so we engage in that type of conversation. Belmopan people don't really, they engage anybody who might come to have a conversation with them. They're that welcoming, and so we appreciate that we've been welcomed in many, many homes.
Yeah. And you said, I'm sure there are people who welcome you in and people who are supportive, but what about the complaints that they may have, especially knowing that you are currently on the council?
Yes, quite a few complaints, especially since, we've experienced the challenges of COVID too, as it pertains to the collection of finances at Belmopan City Council, as is the same for all councils across the board. And so obviously some of the things that we did prior have not been as much as we've been doing of recent. The council, in fact, has experienced a huge deficit in the amount of collections. And so we've had to make adjustments, just like you have had to do for your family where you've lost income. And so we've prioritized a lot of the services that we offer. And we've had to have the conversation with the residents and tell them, you know what, we're looking at how best we can move forward with the recognition that our collections haven't been the same. And these are our plans. And what do you think about this idea? And so we've pitched several ideas. The residents, for the most part, have been very receptive and understanding of our current situation. And so I think that we should do just fine moving forward. Basically, what the residents want is for their services to be delivered.
And you touch on a very critical point. It's something that all municipalities will be facing, and that is the fallout of the economic impact of the pandemic. What are your plans in being able to generate the necessary finances to be able to fulfill the manifesto that you just presented?
Yes. My team and I have had to sit down and look at how creative we would have to get in order to make real the plans that we've established. And some of the ideas that we've come up with includes the creation of jobs. And we've identified areas where we can actually create jobs for, yes, some of our young people in the city. We've also looked at writing proposals, business proposals. There's quite a bit that's available to our local government. We've established sister-city relationships with 2 cities so far, and the sister-city relationships have brought benefits to Belmopan. And so we want to continue working with our sister cities. As well, under this last term, we've had at least 3 sets of investors that have come to Belmopan and looked at where their investments would go and what the possibilities have been. And we want to continue the dialogue with these individuals. We have a very good relationship with individuals from the US, individuals from Mexico, and Taiwan as well. As I've said before, sister relationship, one of our sister relationships is with Taipei, Taiwan.
And on the issue of finances as well, that also brings up the issue of how you, if you're successful, plan to work along with the central government to achieve some of your goals, especially in the context where the central government now is of the different political party. So how do you think you'll be able to work along with them to achieve some of your goals for Belmopan?
One of the things I know is that once the political season is over, it should be over. And we're serving Belmopan, we're serving Belize. We all want to see the betterment of our capital city. We want to see the betterment of our country. And so where politics is concerned, I believe it's the race that you get in. But once somebody's elected, I think first we need to set the political colors aside and get to work. Other than that, though, I do think that Orange Walk Council, for instance, has survived under a UDP-led government. And I think that once it has been illustrated that it has been done, we are up for the challenge. My team and I, we're up for the challenge.
Jackie, how do you served under Mayor Khalid Belize, and now you're stepping out on your own as the new mayoral candidate. How do you differentiate yourself as to what your leadership style will be like?
Okay. Under Mayor Belize, I've served as the deputy mayor for a year. And one of the things I always say about Mayor is that he gives his councillors enough rein to take on their leadership. We know our portfolios, and we're given we come up with our projects and we take the lead on that. He's never been one of those leaders who have micromanaged anything. I've been that councillor that when somebody's not available, I fit in. I've been the counselor as well that is called upon maybe 5 minutes before time and say, you know what, Mayor can't make it, and so can you please go and can you please attend? I think that has given me enough experience to be able to feel competent in my ability to lead this city. I have gotten a lot of support along the way. My leadership style, I guess, would perhaps be a little more personal because I'm a people person. Um, I like communicating with people. I like trying to help people, and this isn't a political part of me. This is precisely who I am. I've grown up to be this way. And so I come from very humble beginnings. I come from very warm people. And as a result of that, people, I guess, get to know me to be that person and feel free to approach me. We are campaigning on putting people first, and that's precisely the type of person I am. So I think that we should have no problem going forward in terms of how the residents of Belmopan would see their mayor leading this city. For us and for the entire team, the vision is yes, listening to the residents, and identifying what is their most urgent need and see how we can resolve the issues for them.
So let me ask a question. There are three mayoral candidates. There is an independent, your prior city administrator, who's running for office as well, running as a mayoral candidate.
Yes.
I would say naturally you would think that the independent is eliminated, but Belmopan is always an anomaly in that area. But looking at the bigger picture, it may potentially be the first female elected as the mayor in Belmopan, whether it goes blue or red. What does that mean for you?
It means that we have already won. It means that we have already won because before getting involved in politics, I did a part of the UNDP training where we talked about women in leadership. And I know that one of the projects across the board has been wanting to get the 30% quota of women in government, women representation. And I feel that it is high time that we put our women forward and that we send the message that women can lead. I'm one of 9 mayoral candidates for my party, and I'm the one female that is running on behalf of the UDP. And so it's not something that I take very lightly. The commitment has had to have been very hard, but I do not complain. I do not try to make it anything other than positive, because guess what? We have already won for Belmopan, and so I congratulate the city. I'm not, of course, undermining the candidacy of Ralston Fraser, the independent candidate. However, I would like to see a female on that seat.
Now, earlier you were speaking about your manifesto and some of your plans, but I'm interested to know, we are in hard times and it is COVID, so what would you say is the number one priority for you that you would want to deliver if you're successful?
Okay, my team and I have identified our plans, and I'm sure that when we're elected, we will sit together as a team and prioritize our plans. But if you were to ask me, one of the first things that I would like to get straightened out, should we be successful, is getting our services up to par in terms of what the City Council delivers. As I've indicated to you, some of our services have fallen behind because of the falling collections, and so regularizing what we have had in the past. I want to get back to that. I think it comes both ways, twofold, because our residents need to take serious the responsibility of their taxes. And so we're going to look at what we have outstanding. And there's quite a bit that is outstanding in Belmopan. And so maybe starting a conversation with the residents, as to how we can get them to commit even a little at a time, their finances to keep their bills paid up, as well as, focusing on the garbage collection, the debris collection, the drainage, the street works. These are things that are day-to-day services that are offered in Belmopan. And we want to ensure that we're providing at least the basic services for our residents. My team is very hardworking. As you have seen in some of the pictures, we've done some community work as a team already, where we went to the Las Flores Park, for instance, and we gave it a little facelift. Nothing major, but some work and some improvement means a lot in Belmopan. We have had barbecue fundraisers on behalf of our campaign. We weren't given the gold spoon, right? And so we've had to put in the work, not only on the campaign trail, but when it comes to being creative about fundraising and so on, we've had to do that. And that means that we're committed to, yes, our campaign, as well as we're committed to the city of Belmopan. If we are putting in the work now and doing what is required for us to run this campaign, I think we can put in the work and do what is required to run this city. I like the willingness of the team. I like the commitment. I like that no task seemed too colossal for this team. And so we want to go forward with that same mantra.
Yeah, and since you bring that up, tell our viewers a little bit about your team.
I feel like this is one of the most amazing teams. We are going on the Team Jackie for Mayor. And so it features 2017's Miss Belmopan, DeAndre Martinez, who is a young person. She's a UB student pursuing a bachelor's degree, but very active among the youths in her community. She's energized. DeAndre comes up with projects for Belmopan and just say, hey, I have an idea. And so I'm really elated to have her on the team. Next, in terms of a new councillor candidate, is Miss Chrissy Chacon. And Chrissy hails from Las Flores, and she owns a diner. And so, that might hit you off as, okay, this person is a business person, but Chrissy has been so busy in her community, in her neighborhood, advocating on behalf of the school, wanting the futsal in her area cleaned down for the residents to be able to use it. She has come up with projects for Las Flores until at one point I had to say, Chrissy, we need to look at the other parts of the city. And it is that she has a passion for the area where she lives. And already Chrissy has outlined future projects that she wants to see executed, not only in Las Flores, but in Central Belmopan as well. So it's an honor to have Chrissy. And then the next female is Mrs. Louise Willis, who is a returning councillor candidate. And Mrs. Willis has been a senior superintendent of police. She has served over 20 years in the police service, and she says that she has served the length and breadth of Belize, quite disciplined. I call her the anchor of the team because she's the one who will speak wisdom into what's going on. She always sees things in a logical manner, and she's very good with guidance, with suggestions, with the more mature ideas. She's worked very actively with her citizens in Belmopan, and she is particularly engaged with her senior citizens as she visits them in their homes, especially the ones who live on their own. And so we know that Mrs. Willis is a wonderful member of this team. Other than the ladies, we have the gentlemen. And in terms of new coming councillor candidates, we have Victor Chicky Oriana, and Victor hails from the San Martin area. He's an electrician by trade, but has been very active in sports in Belmopan. And he's very passionate about football and organizing football tournaments, as well as billiards tournaments that he's organized. One of his visions for the city is getting our young people to compete neighborhood by neighborhood so as to establish, relationships between these young people, and that they get to know each other, so that, Belmopan becomes one big city where we're able to interact.
Jackie, yeah. Allow me to interrupt. It's just that we're running out of time and we're trying to be balanced in the amount of time we give each candidate. So you can quickly tell us about the last two and also do your final pitch. Yeah.
Other than that, we have Leslie Zelaya. He recently opened a tacos business. He's very, very passionate about the city as well and has been known to be cutting the grass in Belmopan. So we really like having Leslie. And then we have Paul Piochon, who's a vice principal at Garden City Primary School and a returning councillor candidate.
And a minute for you to tell Belmopan residents why you feel you were best fit for the job.
Belmopan knows me. Belmopan knows how genuine I've been, how committed I've been to this city. They know that when they elect me and my team for running this city, that they will get quality service, that they won't get, somebody that they cannot reach in order to have a conversation. And so, Belmopan, I invite you to support Team Jackie for Mayor on March 3rd. And I also want to invite you to peruse our website. It has our bios, as well as it has our manifesto with our plans for the city. And so you can go on www.jackie4mayor.com. And so you can check out our manifesto. Thank you, Marlene and Gavin, for having me. Thank you for the good conversation to start my morning.
All right. And thank you for joining us as well. Stay safe on that campaign trail.
Thank you.
All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we will keep our focus on the Garden City, and we will be talking with the PUP mayoral candidate after the break.